Welcome to Simply Explained English. I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, today we'll listen to a podcast about a 15-minute daily listening study plan.
Let's listen to it.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Mark, and I'm here with my friend Emma. We both know how important it is to understand spoken English.
That's right, Mark. So, today we're going to talk about something really useful. How to get better at listening to English in just 15 minutes a day. It's a simple way to improve your comprehension and understanding of different accents.
We'll show you a daily routine that includes a quick warm-up, choosing an audio source, listening practice, and thinking about what you've heard. This will help you listen more effectively and understand more easily.
In the next part, we'll explain why even a short listening practice every day can make a big difference. Stay tuned. So, why is daily listening practice so important? Well, like with speaking and reading, it's all about building a habit. When you listen a little bit every day, it becomes easier and easier to understand spoken English.
Exactly. And a short 15-minute session can really help you feel more comfortable with different accents and speaking speeds. Many people are nervous about understanding fast speech, but the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Plus, regular listening helps your brain get used to the sounds of English and remember new vocabulary. When you need to understand someone, you'll be able to process the information more quickly.
I remember when I started learning German, I found listening really difficult. But I made a promise to myself to listen for at least 10 minutes every day, even if it was just a short podcast. After a few weeks, I felt much more comfortable understanding spoken German.
Now we're going to break down the 15-minute routine minute by minute. Get ready to nail down your English listening skills.
All right, let's get into the details of our 15-minute English listening routine. It's divided into 4 parts, so it's easy to follow.
First, we have the warm-up. It takes 2 minutes.
The goal here is to wake up your brain and prepare it to listen to English.
A simple way to do this is to quickly listen to a short audio clip that you've already heard before. This could be a song, a news report, or a clip from a TV show.
The point is to get your ears used to the sounds of English before you start your main listening practice.
Next up is the audio selection. It takes 3 minutes.
This part helps you focus your listening practice. Choose an audio source that's interesting to you and at the right level. Maybe something you come across online. This could be a podcast, a radio show, a YouTube video, or an audiobook.
It's important to choose something that's not too difficult, but also not too easy. You want to be challenged, but not overwhelmed.
Try to choose a different type of audio each day to keep things interesting and expose yourself to different accents and speaking styles. Change it every day. One day, listen to an American accent. The next day, try British. It keeps things fresh.
Now, for the most important part, intensive listening practice. It takes 7 minutes.
This is where you really get to practice your listening skills. The aim is to listen actively and understand the audio.
We suggest breaking these 7 minutes into smaller chunks and tuning out any distractions. For example, listen for 3 minutes, then pause briefly to think about what you've heard before listening again.
As you listen, try to focus on the main ideas and key details. Don't worry about working out every single word. Just focus on the main ideas.
If you're having trouble understanding, try listening again. You can also slow down the audio speed if necessary.
Jot down any new vocabulary words or phrases that you hear.
After you finish listening, go back and look up the words you didn't know. Write them down in a notebook or use a flashcard app.
Try to summarize what you heard in your own words.
Finally, we have reflection and feedback, which takes 3 minutes.
This is where you think about how you did and how you can brush up your skills.
Ask yourself questions like, what was the main idea of the audio? What new vocabulary words did I learn? What accents did I hear?
You could also try to transcribe a short section of the audio. This will help you improve your listening accuracy.
Think about what you found easy and what you found difficult. This will help you choose appropriate audio sources for future practice sessions.
Remember, reviewing your performance and thinking about how you can improve is a really important part of learning.
So that's the 15-minute routine. Each part works together to help you become a more fluent and confident listener. Now that you know the routine, here are a few extra tips to help you get even more out of it.
If you can, try to listen to English in different situations, like while you're cooking, cleaning, or exercising. This will help you get used to listening in different environments.
Also, try to watch English movies and TV shows with subtitles. This will help you connect the spoken words with the written words.
Remember, even a little bit of practice every day can make a big difference. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Just keep going, and you'll get there.
As they say, listen and you will learn. Every day you practice, you're improving your listening skills and expanding your understanding of English.
Track your progress and celebrate your small wins. Did you understand a difficult conversation? Did you learn a new idiom? These are all things to be proud of.
We'd love to hear about your experiences with this routine. Share your questions or join an online community for language learners to connect with others.
So, to recap, we've talked about the benefits of daily listening practice and shared a simple 15-minute routine that includes a warm-up, audio selection, intensive listening, and reflection. We also gave you some extra tips to help you stay motivated.
We encourage you to try this routine for at least a week and see how much you improve. We think you'll be surprised.
Thanks for listening to the R podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful.
If you have any questions or feedback, please let us know, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Keep listening, and we'll see you next time.
It was a really nice podcast. What do you think, Eric?
Agreed. For listening, it's really a useful plan. Our followers should try it.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start our podcast. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is tune out. Then we will continue with come across and to work out. Then jot down. And the final one is brush up on.
Wow. All vocab today are phrasal verbs.
Yes, Lisa. Phrasal verbs are very common and important in English.
Yes, right, Eric. Okay, let's start with the first word.
The first word is tune out.
Tune out. Tune out sounds interesting, Eric. Does it have anything to do with music or radio?
Great question, Lisa. Actually, yes. Originally, tune out came from radio usage. When you stop listening to a certain radio station or channel, you tune out. But today, we mostly use it to talk about not paying attention or ignoring something.
Oh, so it's like when someone talks, but I don't really listen?
Exactly. When you tune out, you stop listening or paying attention because maybe you're bored or distracted.
Could you give us some example sentences to help us understand it better?
Sure, here's one. During the math class, I started to tune out because it was so boring. This means the class wasn't interesting and the person stopped paying attention.
Okay, here's another. When my brother talks about football, I always tune out because I don't like sports.
Perfect example, Lisa. It clearly shows someone losing interest and not listening anymore.
Eric, can we use tune out in both formal and informal situations?
Actually, tune out is informal. It's very common in everyday conversations, but not usually used in formal writing or speaking.
What about grammar tips, Eric? Any important points to remember?
Yes. When you use tune out with an object, like a person or a thing, remember to add that object after the phrase. For example, I tuned out the noise. Without an object, it just means you're not paying attention generally, like, I just tuned out.
So remember, everyone, Tune out means not paying attention or ignoring someone or something. Use it informally and don't forget your object when you need it. Okay, well, let's move on to the next word.
The next word is come across.
Come across.
Come across is a phrasal verb. It means to find something by chance or to meet someone unexpectedly. You don't plan for it. It just happens.
For example, last week I was reading an old book and came across a photo from my childhood.
Perfect example. You weren't looking for the photo, but you found it.
Can we use come across for people too?
Yes. If you come across someone, it means you meet them unexpectedly.
Oh, like yesterday, when I was at the supermarket and came across my old teacher.
Exactly. That's a great example, Lisa. Here's another one. Yesterday, I was walking in the park, and I came across an old friend from school. This means I met my friend unexpectedly. I wasn't planning to see them.
Oh, that's a nice surprise. Another example is, I came across an interesting article online. This means I found it while I was browsing the internet, but I wasn't searching for it.
Yes, Lisa, here's something important. Come across is usually followed by a noun or pronoun. We say, I came across a book, or she came across something interesting.
Is come across formal or informal, Eric?
Come across is neutral. You can use it in spoken and written English. It's common in casual conversations and even in formal writing, like articles or reports.
That's really useful. Okay, well, I think now our listeners understand come across better. Now, let's move on to our next phrase.
The next word is to work out.
To work out.
To work out is a very useful phrase because it has a few different meanings. Let's start with the first one, exercise. When people say, I work out every morning, they mean they do physical exercise, like going to the gym, running, or doing yoga. Lisa, do you work out?
Well, sometimes. I like to go for a run, but I don't go to the gym very often. What about you?
I try to work out 3 times a week. I like lifting weights and swimming.
That's great. So, listeners, remember, if someone says, I need to work out more, they are talking about exercising.
Now, let's move on to the second meaning of work out. It can also mean to solve a problem or find a solution.
For example, if you're struggling with a math problem, you might say, I can't work this out. That means you can't find the answer.
Another example, if 2 friends have an argument, they might say, let's talk and work things out. That means they want to fix the problem. That's a really useful way to use work out. It's about finding a solution to something difficult. Now, there's one more meaning, something happening successfully or as planned.
Like when someone says, don't worry, everything will work out. That means things will be okay in the end.
Exactly. So, Lisa, if someone says, my travel plans didn't work out, what do they mean?
That means their plans didn't go as expected. Maybe their flight was canceled or their hotel was full.
That's right. So, listeners, workout can mean exercise, solving a problem, or something going well.
Okay, well, I think we've explained to work out pretty well. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is jot down.
Jot down. Jot down sounds short and quick. Is it about writing, Eric?
You're absolutely right, Lisa. Jot down means to write something quickly, usually notes or reminders.
Ah, so it's like making a quick note to remember later?
Exactly. When you jot something down, you're writing it briefly to help you remember.
Could you give us some examples to clarify?
Sure, here's one. Let me jot down your phone number before I forget. This means quickly writing the number so you don't lose it.
That's clear. Here's another. She jotted down a few ideas during the meeting.
Excellent example. It's about quickly writing ideas so she doesn't forget them later.
Eric, is jot down formal or informal?
Jot down is neutral but usually informal. It's great for casual conversations, everyday use, or even semi-formal situations, but avoid it in very formal writing.
Any grammar tips we should know?
Good question. Remember to use an object with jot down, such as ideas, notes, or numbers. You usually say what exactly you're jotting down.
Thanks, Eric. So everyone, remember, jot down means quickly writing notes or reminders. It's informal and easy to use. Okay, well, we've reached the last word of today. What is the last word, Eric?
The last word is brush up.
Brush up. Brush up? It sounds like cleaning something. Is it related?
Good guess, Lisa, but actually, brush up means to refresh your knowledge or improve a skill that you've learned before but maybe forgot a little.
Oh, like reviewing something again to remember it better?
Exactly. When you brush up on something, you're practicing or studying it again to remember and improve.
Can we have some examples to make it clearer?
Of course. Here's one. I need to brush up on my Spanish before my trip to Mexico. This means practicing Spanish again to become more comfortable speaking it.
Got it. Here's another. She brushed up on her cooking skills before hosting a big dinner.
Perfect. That means she practiced or reviewed her cooking abilities to make sure the dinner was great.
Eric, is brush up formal or informal?
Brush up is neutral and commonly used in both informal and semi-formal situations. It's perfect for everyday conversations and casual settings.
Any quick grammar tips for us?
Definitely. Usually we say brush up on, followed by the skill or subject. For example, brush up on my math, brush up on French, or brush up on cooking.
Thanks, Eric. So remember, everyone, brush up means reviewing and practicing something again to improve your skill. Well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now.